Wow, this shit is slow. What the fuck is pop out chat? Someone please. Oh, maybe here? Pop out chat. We are in business. Can anyone hear? Can everyone hear me? Is that fine? What the fuck is going on here? Anyone in the chat? Can anyone hear? Yes, yes. Can you hear the music in the background? Is it too loud? Shall I turn it down? Robin Hood, I've only just started. Literally just doing a few tests here. All good. Hear the music. Hear my voice fine. Music is too loud. My voice too loud or the music too loud? Just playing some Alchemist beats. If I turn that down, I don't know if it goes down for you guys. That's fine. Hit me up some emails. Crypto ACX. So everyone hear me fine? We're all ready to roll. Get through some charts together. Good man, good man. Looking at this let me try and talk. SPX 500, the S&P 500 here. Going over this level on the 4 hour. Don't know if any of you guys checked out a little video that I've just posted on the Twitter mini series. And basically it's just like a new thing I'm going to be doing on Twitter, posting that educational content and little mini videos, literally only 3 minutes per video. Otherwise they're going to go to ICT style and end up dragging on for about 3 hours, and you're just going to lose interest and you're not going to process the information like I didn't do at school, because my lessons were an hour long and that was about 50 minutes too long for me. So guys, I just pointed out some major areas in that video if you had missed it. And these are just key areas of swing lows and swing highs. So as you can see here, these are swing highs, and you've got nice sell-offs, and then you make can't even talk. End up getting a breakout and a retest here, and it was perfect little rally up on the S&P. And you can see this swing high here, and you've got a nice pullback. So that was also marked as a resistance point, and then obviously you've got the high, the local high, which you got a nice sell-off from. And you've come down to retest this area of support, and this does go back further. I want to show this level. This level here was in this range basically, and that's a very strong support level now. So what you're looking for now is, if you're looking to get an entry on a long, which if you are, I would say don't hold on to it too long. You've had this major run, and when you're buying into extended runs, listen, the fair value has gone here. There isn't much value in longing this, but I'm going to show you what you wanted to do if you want to do a quick long scalp here. But literally, when you're buying things this high, this extended, listen, the trades to make were down here. Longing up here makes 0 sense at all. Just from the overbought conditions, rule number 1, never buy in an overbought condition. People do it. If you know, if it works for you, that's fine. But it basically means you're not getting fair value. I'm sure you've heard the motto, buy low, sell high. If you're buying up here, you're buying high, no doubt about it. But you are above a big resistance area, which is now looking to turn support. So if you wanted to take a long scalp here, what would I do? Well, basing off this level now, you've quickly dipped below it, and you've just reclaimed it right here. You did just get the close. Also, no, the close is, yeah, the close was 9, I believe. So you just get this exit candle here. Everyone exiting their day trades for today, and there's a strategy to play where people literally bet on which direction that day is going to go. So from the opening candle, you get a lot of volatility. People open up their trades, and then they'll close it on the last candle of the day. And the people don't want to hold positions overnight, not necessarily in this market, especially when it's volatile. You don't, because if you set a stop loss and that price gaps down, you got to get the next available price. So then you end up losing more than you originally planned for in your risk, which is always a bit risky. That's the thing with stocks. You get big gap ups and gap downs. I'm going to sit up here because I'm laying flat down on my bed and I can't even talk. Sorry about that. But you do get big gap ups and gap downs, and that's also a problem with holding Forex over the weekends, and you do play at weekend fees. But nonetheless, there is a lot of swing traders out there in the stock market, and if that's what you're comfortable doing, that is fine. But just know this when you're putting in your risk and your trade plan for that specific stock. And that's why I do always prefer to day trade stocks. I don't like to hold overnight positions. I never normally do. If I do, it will be on the SPX 500 on the futures index, and that way, you know, you've got a lot more balance to get out if you wish to get out. So as you can see now, we've reclaimed this level after dipping down. So on the 4 hour, it does look like a big wick now, bouncing off that support level. So if we came down to this area right here at 2625 on the reclaim and retested and successfully retested that, then we'll be playing this for a quick scalp back up to the upside. Levels I'll be looking for, that's the obvious one, double bottom breakdown, and you get this nice retest here, failed with some wicky actions, and you got the sell off back down to the support. So that was a very nice trade. If you managed to catch up on, congratulations. Target 2 would be this area right here. You've got the support level, retest, foul, retest, foul, retest, foul. So that's a strong resistance. And these are the gauges that you need to mark out. There's more than just a weak support and a strong support, vice versa with resistance. You want to locate the strongest. When you're betting your money, listen, it always amazes me how much people are willing to throw away money on shit setups. And I see it over and over again. I've done it before, I'm not going to lie. Still do it after 6 years of trading. Sometimes you just get impatient. Sometimes you just want to be in a trade, and you pull the trigger early and just fucking lose money. But that's the thing about building not only your technical analysis side, but your psychological side. And these two together, you need to come in tandem to prevail and get better as a trader. You can't one without the other. It could work, but you're not really going to start seeing those better results until you do get both in tandem. So work on that. Get your psychological. I can't even talk. Get the psychologically. That's not even a word. Psychological side together with your technical amount, and you'll really be pushing for those good gains. So any pullback here now, if I see this level hold, especially with this dip around this area, anywhere in this zone, seeing hold, I'll be playing for a quick scalp. But for me right now, overall, I do prefer shorts, just because of the daily chart. As you can see, this range was picture perfect. We did break out, and now we've broken up it, and I did take a short here. And that's what I'm saying about even doing silly stuff, starting out, and then as a trader for many years. Right here, this was just fucking obvious as day that if you were shorting here, everyone and their mothers were shorting here. So what I'm looking for now on a swing term perspective is something like this, and I'll just get the brush tool. The brush tool would be breaking back below this and reclaiming that support. Oh fuck, drew that a bit too harshly. Would be coming back down to this area. The red line here is a weekly level, and then breaking back down and trying to retest these lows. So yeah, as you see, this level here is a week. But now you are back below this area, and if we do test this, bounce back up and retest and reclaim, a successful foul of the reclaim level, we'll be looking to take short. And as you can see on the weekly level as well, look, you've got 4 rally candles, and they're all strong rally candles, so you're extended in the market and long in this really, unless you're doing it for a quick scalp. There's no real value in it. So swing perspective, looking for shorts on this bounce. That was a very good bounce. It's a very good response. Trump is probably sleeping a little bit better after seeing that. But for me right now, reclaim this level, foul and break down. That is exactly what I'm looking for. Now I'm sure you guys mostly started following me because of crypto. So we shall head over to Bitcoin. How do I say it? Thanks to your content. Do you trade stocks? I'm shorting Knight since 81.24. What are your thoughts about it? Kevin, the first question I'd have to ask is, I'm assuming that's a swing trade. Let me just dot out some weekly levels. Well, market breadth, if you don't know what market breadth is, the S&P 500 covers 500 stocks. If you have a weak tape means if the S&P is weak. The majority of the stocks that are within it will also be weak, and you would rather be looking on taking short positions rather than long positions. So right now, if you're looking to go short on the style of trader you are, you should know by now. If you don't, you need to work on a trade plan to figure out exactly what kind of trader you are. So, are you a horizontal support and resistance trader? Are you a momentum breakout trader? You should know if you're a day trader or a swing trader or an investor. All these things you need to know in advance to gain your style of trading, which will help you trade. So as you can see here, like I've just said, I'll be looking for, especially we've had that 4-week rally on the S&P, I'll be looking for short setups in stocks and the S&P. So for now, you can see this area. You had this swing high, you failed, you had a little sell-off, you broke above it, you held, you had this gap down day, it kind of failed right intraday at that resistance, and you got above it, and then you went below, you failed right at it. So that's a key level right here, 81.18, and now you're right back at this level here, where you had a little wick off the highs. We're going to the 4-hour. It's still looking bullish, and right now it's a risky one. I would rather like to see the confirmation on the S&P first of a reclaim, which means that it's broken over above. It could have been running stops, got liquidity, and now you're going back down just to have a major breakdown. That is perfect. That would be what I would like to see before taking any short positions in stocks. So you know, you could go see Netflix. Oh shit. Netflix just shit the bed today. You got this little area here and it bounced perfect. Let me just delete all this shit because I'm sure I end up writing notes on my charts, and let's see the weekly chart. You can obviously see the swing points. The thing is with stocks, I like to trade stocks intraday. I never really like to swing trade stocks. And the reason for that is just to hold them overnight. Like I said, the S&P 500 has extended hours, so it's easy to move out of position, even though it's slow volume. It's easy to get out if you want to get out. But right now you've jumped over this level and you're kind of reclaiming underneath it. It's okay, nothing too special about it. You have this level here, as you can see, swing low, a very strong rally. So a lot of buyers stepped in at that point. You tested it again, bounced, you broke below it, you rejected this long wick, and then you've come back and you've had a good rally. It's been a strong bounce, but S&P 500, you know, is really to keep the eyes on the market breadth. That's what I was talking about. It's all well fun and games, try the long and short Netflix, but if you don't know which way the S&P is going, it's a risky business because you want to go with the majority. And obviously there is stocks that have relative strength. This means, so if the S&P is plummeting, you do get stocks that can keep on rising. And the way to do this would be to keep on finviz.com, which is a stock screener. It is free, and this is something that I really wish crypto would actually have. It does have crypto here, but it's not as intense as the screener that we do for stocks. But basically, you have all these filters. So price, I don't like to trade anything over below $1. You know, it gets a bit shady. I like stuff with volume over 400,000 for the day to make sure I've got the liquidity to get in and out of position whenever I wish to do so. And then you can do the exchanges, the market cap. And if you're into your fundamentals, you've got all this shit. I've never been one to look into fundamentals. I'm not that intelligent. But you know, you can get debts, inside ownership, inside transactions, EPS growth, and then you can go to the technical. And the technical thing that I used to like to do as a breakout trader back in the day, and this was literally traded in the open of the stock market, would be we'd like to do a gap up of 3%. And as you can see, people always, people always like to compare stocks and crypto, but when you get in these momentum names, and momentum names normally come up, especially the really good ones, is from, there's a lot of financial here on the 3 times, which is the ETF times 3 obviously, but you do get a lot of bio names, and these are normally due to clinical news catalysts overnight. So for example, a new drug's passed clinical testing. That's bullish for the stock. So you get a gap up overnight, and then you can play these intraday for little setups. You know, people are going to be watching them. There's going to be liquidity in them, and when these go, these can really go. They can run for days. I never like to hold these overnight because, especially when the volatility is so high, if you can get a major gap down, you are fucked. Quickest way to go and blow an account would be to do that. So get on the 5-minute chart. I'll be throwing up more videos on stocks and intraday trading, day trading them. It is a lot of fun, and the best thing about it is knowing that you're going to be finishing days in cash positions. So for example, if you're holding a swing trade, you know you can hold these things for a long time, but when you're trading these, you know you're going to be on a daily wage or a daily loss. You know exactly where you stand. I just signed in. What we're talking about, Ed Hughes, we are talking about market breadth. So this is just a long-winded answer on how the S&P 500, you want to be trading stocks with the direction of the S&P due to the fact that it is where the market sentiment is going, which is the market breadth. And I think somewhere on here it does say about market breadth and how to actually go along with it. But this is the thing with Bitcoin. This is the relationship to Bitcoin and alts right now, I believe, and Ethereum. Bitcoin is kind of dictating the market, so you're seeing a little bit of a standoff right now. If we go back, you know, you're just getting a sideways action. We've had some really boring action. I do like it off this weekly level. You can see a weekly level here and this weekly level here, when it broke above this swing high and retested. So you can say that's a confirmed support right there with the retest, and then you rallied and you had a very strong rally. You rallied from what, 3.6 to 7.4, so you've done 100% rally there. So at these levels, it is kind of, it's a nice little level to be basing positions off. And I did post a video about this beforehand. You can see this range, and people were saying about head and shoulders, but basically, fucking hell, this has got to stop doing this. Jesus. If I remove this, you can see this support level, and this is a video that I also keep on posting the videos about. It's called the reclaim. So the reclaim is you're at a major level here, and also the psychology. Psychology is, I want to talk to you about RSI, relative strength index. People use stochastic as well. It gauges, it's an indicator that gauges oversold and overbought levels. So, like I was saying, if something is oversold, you don't really want to be shorting. If something is overbought, you don't want to be buying because you're not getting the best possible value. You're buying too high. And right now, the psychologically, I can't say that word. So it comes down, and people are thinking, listen, this is oversold. There's no way this is breaking through this support. Strong weekly support. No way. Less long the double bottom. So they long it. They see a little move up. They get excited. If you long right at this point here, where is your stops going to be? Your stops will be, voila, right here, getting taken out from this action right here. And then what happens? You reclaim the level, retest, successful retest, and now you are just bouncing around at this shitty area, and it's just been going on and on, like my voice, for a while now. So what you want to see right now for Bitcoin, it would be nice if you could see if you can break this 3.7 level, hold it, potentially retest, and then you can set some stops here. You've got a fixed risk about 3.2 and start aiming for another weekly level. It depends on your style of trading, obviously. If you're swing trading, I like to go through weekly levels. Weekly levels are very strong, but you do have a resistance right here at 4.251. As you can see, this wick high here, and just around this area. So if you are bullish on Bitcoin, or you wait for the confirmation on Bitcoin from a swing trading perspective, that's the time to be looking at altcoins. Now, by all means, it's fine to be doing altcoins now if you are looking for a more aggressive entry. But for me right now, I'm in no rush. We're consolidating. We've had some boring action, just sideways, stuck in a $500 range. So if I can see some bullish confirmation and a retest and a hold, then I'll be looking back into altcoin charts to look for good setups. Who sent me a... Oh, it was Bitcoin Gold. Bitcoin Gold, this is the kind of stuff that I'll be looking for. So you've got a clear line in the sand here of support, which was a breakdown. Now, what would I be looking for now? Normally, most people will be looking to short this, but the thing is, if we start seeing some positive results in Bitcoin with some bullish action, I'll be looking for a reclaim. So that would mean that everyone that had long this point has now been stopped. Some liquidity to be filled in long positions. We've reclaimed the level. If we retest it and you get a confirmation, so you know, a good bounce, confirm that that was actually acting as support, then you could go long. And it's all about market breadth. So you need to be looking at the overall sentiment of the market, and this gives you a better chance of actually running away with the market. So you could have, you know, a first target there, 1.94, not so sad. I've got the obvious breakdown level here. voila. Obvious breakdown level, test, breakdown, heavy breakdown. So that would be the next obvious target. So you could scout some profits here, scout some profits here. You know, 4.27 risk to reward is not bad at all. If you wanted a bit more of a conservative stop, go below the lows, but wait for the confirmation to get up here, because if not, if Bitcoin shits the bed, you know, anywhere up to here, and a little failed retest, you know, you might as well short this if you could. Obviously, I'll make an exchange where you could short the fuck out of every alt, because that would be the life. But that's the kind of things I'm looking at. ARK, I've been sitting in this motherfucker for ages. What some tunes on. So ARK was one that I've been looking at. We've been stuck in this range since August. It's a nutty range. That trend line pisses me off. We broke out, we failed. But as you can see, this range here since August, so we've been sitting in this for a long time now. And then you dip below it, so that would just trap any liquidity, any tight stops, which that does look like a fair good stop. But you know, you're just asking. It's you've just been absolutely set up. It came back, retested, it held, and now you've had this run. And we did post the entry about here onto it. You can go and search ARK on that little cool Twitter thing. Search for Crypto ACX as the sender and type in ARK, and you would see that set up. And we've just been playing this range, and it's been holding up okay. You know, I don't know what percentage it is, but it failed off the resistance. But we're just holding it in this range. If Bitcoin starts to push up, that seemed like a super good entry at its lows, and hopefully a breakout, retest, potentially add around this level, a weekly level, and then start aiming at higher targets. Anyone got any altcoin charts they want me to look at? Because I have not looked at altcoin charts for a very long time. Any stocks, any FX charts, hit me up. If anyone is still here, give me a shout. Anybody there? It's a swing trade, maybe just 2 to 3 days. If it goes in a good way, I will let it 1 more days. But it's also become, yes, we'll go down it. That's a fair point. That is a fair point. You've taken the more aggressive entry there of short in Nike. I would have personally potentially waited for the S&P to confirm a bearish trend. If that does reclaim the support, which term resistance, looking for quick scalps. If we fail the retest, I'll be looking for heavy short positions. Kiwi, US dollar, Amazon, that was just a beauty. But that's kind of looking a little bit weak right now. US dollar. This was a beauty. So I posted this one on my Twitter yesterday. And this is what I mean about always starting on a higher time frame perspective. You have this this level, this clear, defined level of support, resistance, broke above, support. Look at that wick. Anyone that had longed around this area on the breakout with stops here, you have just been wiped the fuck out. The reclaim right here, if it holds. And as you can see, you're getting oversold here on the daily chart. You've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row. The probabilities, you have to work out this kind of stuff. The probabilities after having an extended run. Listen, I don't have RSI on my charts. I've been trading for so long now. I just know what is oversold and what is overbought. And I can tell you that is very oversold from that sell-off. So now we'll be looking for a preferred bounce. I did post the chart. What was I looking at? I forgot what it was. 4 hour. We bounce down this support level here. For me right now, clear defined level, support, foul, 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 foul. And this is kind of what you need to start getting in your mind as well. So from the higher time frame perspective, you're at support right now. If you are short in here, you are fucked up, basically, because you are shorting an intraday level into a major support level on a higher time frame basis. So rule number one, never short at support. Rule number two, never buy at resistance. So what you're gonna do here, if you want to short, wait for this motherfucker to wow, this is slow. Looking for longs here off this major support level would be to go up, to retest that level and break up. A confirmed retest here, you go long. Conservative entry, conservative stop below here. An aggressive entry would be about here, but be careful not to get caught out. So that is a nice bullish candle here. This is kind of getting some nice setup. You know, you're reclaiming this support level or resistance. And if you do get the retest and it does hold, you know, I'm happy to take that for a long, just because that aligns up to the major support level. Once again, all the way here, you can just see multiple retest, support held, fouled, retested here briefly, rallied, held, dip below. This could be the reclaim. This is what I'm talking about, the reclaims here. When you dip below the level, most people just take this off their radar as soon as it happens, but what's actually going on now, that anyone that's long this, out of this breakout zone here, breakout traders, long around here, stops will be here, everyone has just been wiped out. And who's getting filled for that? It's the big guys. The big guys want big positions, they need big liquidity, and they've picked exactly that up. So for me right now, this is looking like a very good trade on the Kiwi to the dollar. You mind doing ZRX? I do not mind doing ZRX. Anything for you, Ed Hughes. Kiwi news just jumped in 20 pips. Pound Kiwi dropped 65 pips. Hello ACX. What's up, Trader Moody? Long time. I remember you. I remember you, sir. How's things? With the pound and dollar, with the pound pairs, I'd be careful. Just because, look, this is what I was telling you about before I posted this on my Twitter, and I told you guys to manage your risk with this trade due to the Brexit trade deal going through last week. We knew it was going to be a volatile experience. From a technical standpoint, I was really enjoying it. If that no deal fucking thing happens, you know, we'll probably be riding this down south. But I'll show you exactly what I mean. The way I look at the market, this laptop is going to be the death of me. Remove. Remove, bitch. Remove, bitch. So, from the weekly, you had this incredible level. You got a retest here and fouled. You got a retest here and you fouled. You finally broke up it. You retested, you held, you rallied. You come back down. You wick below. Like I just said, I forgot what chart it was. What chart was I just showing you guys where it wicked below? I can't remember. But on a lower time frame, you're looking for a reclaim here. So when it comes down, you will see a... Oh, I've got to turn some lyrics off. Can't have that. We just need some... We need some Alchemist Bread instrumentals, guys. Can't have someone singing over me. That is very, very, very disrupted. So as you can see, this is just like the most obvious level in the world. It's just been holding. you held, and then you see this whip back up, and on a lower time frame this will be a reclaim, so you'd be breaking up, you come back, you see this reclaim candle right here. Let me try and show you this. As you can see, look right here from this level, anyone shorting this right now is just been stopped out. We come back down, we retest it to the fucking pip, and we break down. But then you kind of had this like head and shoulder setup where you've had this such clear level, back off the left shoulder to the right shoulder. You've held it as support, and you had this nice little rally now. But this was the day of the no trade deal, and you just had this lovely little rally here. Once we broke above it so cleanly, I was looking for a retest and buying it here, but you know, I'm just trying to tell myself to stick away from this pound stuff until it becomes more clear, because you could have the best technical setups right now, but the fundamentals could just blow up at any minute from any Brexit news, and it's 2.5 years later, and I'm from London and I'm sick of it, to be honest. So manage your risk, manage your money. That's the most important thing. I can't preach that enough. And when stuff like this is going on with big fundamental news, you're better off just sticking away from it and shying away from it, because it's not worth. You're gambling more and more, and the probabilities become less and less from a technical standpoint. Blah 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 blah. Message retracted. I'm good. Hope you're doing well. Trader Moody, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. Poor Hodlop. Thank you for tuning in. So these are the kind of things that I'm looking away from now. The pound pairs, even if they do look good from a technical standpoint, they can be blown out. They can just be blown out of this world with any news that pops up from Theresa May and co in the Commons. So just be careful with that. If you are trading this, like I said, when this came down here and I knew we was going into the no deal, I said I tightened my stops, broke out and even on that after this nice sell-off. Could have played it better, should have taken some profits at this level. You saw a lovely reaction to that at that level where buyer stepped in. But that's what it's all about. Even though I feel that that was a losing trade, it was a scratch trade. We lost no money on it. And if things panned out on the Commons on that deal all day, you know, we could have broken down to these local lows. We could have made a ton of money, but it wasn't to be. Move on. Don't let it get into your brain too much. You're here for the long run. These things will occur, and you just got to live with it. This is trading. It doesn't always go your way, and other interruptions come and ruin your trade setup. So that was that. Back to crypto. I've been getting slated the fuck out of on Twitter lately with zero interactions, just because I haven't been doing my crypto stuff, and literally it's just because I've been waiting for Bitcoin to fucking make its mind up. ZRX, clear levels. This is what I love about crypto. Look at 98% already. I think this was drawn with a magnet tool. So ZRX, you have such a defined clear level here of resistance. One day maybe, but maybe guys, we'll break out this resistance. What shall we be doing when we break above la resistance? And this is what I'm telling you about liquidity reclaims. This is one of my favourite setups out there. You see this level. I know this is what I was going about with the swing high and swing low on major levels. You want to get in when the big money's really affecting the direction of the market. So there's a lot of stuff that goes within a trend. They're not the strongest points, and they're the weakest points. I can't really talk. I've eaten so many Xanax. But basically, you want to be buying when the money's really managed to move the market in either direction. And as you can see here, we had a huge sell-off and then a huge rally. So you mark this level out here. You mark out this level right here, and you're holding this major level here. Ideally, you'd want this level to get cracked and reclaimed just to get some liquidity out of it. But it's just been basing out. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks now. Over a month, you've just been getting some sideways action. So now what you want to do is you want to go into multiple time frame. Multiple time frame gets you the better entries, easier setups and earlier entries to get you better prices, which gives you lower risk. So for my trendline fans, potentially want to see this. Potentially want to see this getting broken out of in a retest. What else would we look for? Let me. Ducking and diving. Support level here. You've dipped below. You're coming up right now. And if the daily closes like this, that would be bullish. Just for the pure fact that you've just reclaimed a support level and you're back now in this little mini range. So if you are playing short-term targets, obviously this is the level to get broken out of. I think this is going to be a very strong area to break. And for me, I'd rather wait for Bitcoin to make its mind up. But in doing so, if it does go bullish, you want to see a double break. So you've got a trendline resistance break, and then the range higher break, and then maybe getting something like this. Long in here, with your risk below, you can do some wide stops. It depends on your targets, but wide stop, conservative stop will be here, and aggressive stop will be about here. But you know, going in with crypto, you see these wicks, you see these nasty wicks because of the volatility and the volume. You know, it's so easy to get these kind of wicks in this market, and you could get stopped out here. So maybe a conservative entry will be back down below here, and you would start targeting. Where would you be targeting? You tell me. Level right here. Some shady shit going on right here. Why here? I like to mark the strongest points in a chart. I don't like to do weak support and resistances. You have a test here, but multiple tests, test held, broke down, retest failed, come up, retest failed. So your first target will be here. You need to be taking profits in these kind of markets now. It's not like what it was in 2017 and early 18. We could just let any motherfucker run, hold it, and potentially get a 500% gain. You need to start learning to take your profits, learning how to add to positions. If you're feeling very bullish about a position and Bitcoin's doing very, very well and rallying, you know, start adding to positions. And then what you're doing, as you are adding to positions, you can move your stop up, lowering risk. So really your risk remains the same as your start position, but you're getting even more chance to build and build and build in a position. So these are the way you got to start working stuff out if you're swing trading. How would that play out with ZRX? You got a clear level right here, which you've bounced from. Shit, I've got to stop doing that. So, off that support level, you're tightening here. You are definitely tightening. Let me have the weekly chart up. You're at lows. Two ways of playing this, motherfuckers. And this is why I'm telling you that you need to work out your trading style. From a weekly perspective, this is currently bearish. Again, this trading view makes stuff so difficult sometimes. Get me out of here. On the weekly chart. Well, I'd like to see, if you're going through a longer term trade on this, like I said, it depends on your trading strategy, your trading plan. But for me, where we are right now, A lot of people have been stopped out. Especially if they longed here, you've been insta stopped. And what I'd like to see is a break of this trend line, come up, retest, long. What you'd be doing, confirmed entry, mark out some areas. Bada bing, bada boom. Support briefly broke below and held. Got a rally. Didn't really give a fuck about it here. So I'd like to see this go through. Test here, take profits on the way. Look at this. Here. Not sure. You want to be looking at the strongest points of support and resistance. So, like I said, where did the money? Tell me where the money came in and moved this market. Where did the big boys come in? Well, I'll tell you where. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. These become your targets on a reclaim on this weekly level. Weekly level is probably my favourite level, along with the 3-day chart and the 1-minute chart. As you can see, this is what you want to see right now. You want to see this level reclaimed, and then you want to start taking profits at these major support and resistance levels. So this was resistance, and what you can do when you start doing this is you can start to learn how to manage your trades. So if this breaks one resistance and it comes back and retests it and holds, move your stop up, minimize your risk. It's all about minimizing risk and maximizing profits. So once you do that, move your stops up, scale them up. Like, for example, I want to show you another example. Just say price continued to go up, and you came up and you started holding here. What the fuck? Change your stop to there. You've won a trade. Move up and take it step by step. Kiwi cat. Kiwi cat. Kiwi cat. Kiwi cat. I'm not going to bother to remove these levels. Weekly levels, once again, my favourite. Start on the weekly. You can see this. You had the pullback and a strong rally. You came back, retested, strong rally. It held here. If you look on lower time frames, this was probably a reclaim. You probably went underneath. You came back up. You retested it. You held, and you ran straight back to this major weekly level. Look at that hold. You had the bounce, the retest, the bounce, the retest, the weak bounce, break below, a little bit of a retest here, and now this is what I'm talking about, liquidity here. If this breaks above and this doesn't hold and this comes back through, don't take this off your radar. Most people would think, oh, the support's fucked, it's not a support, it's resistance. Maybe I've drawn it wrong, maybe that was my error. No, keep an eye on it. Basically this has just been all just wiped out, and there's some liquidity here. And you've come back and look at that perfect retest right here where it's fouled off, and look at the next week, it is just plummeted back to this support level here. You've got a weak bounce, you've plummeted through again, you've got another weak bounce here, you plummeted through again, you've retested, you fouled, you've plummeted again. Take it level by level. Even if your level gets plummeted straight through, like I just showed you guys in the S&P 500. I've done the newbie thing. I've done whatever fucking the most obvious thing in the world was, and that was try to short at this level right here. As you can see, it was a perfect range, equal highs, equal lows. We ended up breaking below it, and I thought, right, that's got to be the breakdown retest right here. Every mother, son, brother, cousin was shorting this motherfucker right here, me included, like a noob. Now you've bounced above it. Don't take that out. That doesn't mean that level's invalidated. What you want to be looking for now is a reclaim, which means that anywhere at this point, liquidity has been taken. So, big funds, institutions, traders, brokers, investment firms, you break above that. If you come back below this level now, try and retest it and foul off this. That is the ultimate setup, because you know that liquidity has been picked up. You short here. You decide in your trading plan. You decide what kind of trader you are. You're an aggressive trader or you're a conservative trader. So the difference between this, it's all based on you should be backtesting your strategy. So if you're an aggressive trader, you'll get a much better risk to reward in your trades, but it might necessarily mean that you don't win as many trades. Your win ratio would not be as high. What works better for you? Have you done the back testing? Have you set wider stops with lower risk to reward? All these things is stuff that you need to be monitoring as a bit of statistic. Oh, I can't even talk. I'm so English, my first language. I'm probably one of the worst English speakers out there. I'm friends with people from crypto now, from all over the world. English is their third language. They can still speak better than me, but that is what I'm looking for right now. If you can get a reclaim back below this level, an over under, and you start to hold that level, I'll be looking for shorts. And that is my game plan on the S&P 500, just from looking at big levels. Type in the monthly chart here. That did not work. You know, this looks like distribution. You've had all these months on a rally. You had a sharp pullback. That could just be a trap right now. I was hoping to actually get a retest here, and I never actually got it, but once we started fucking around in this range, I did get a short from this point right here, and I held it to about here, sold it way too early. Should have kept some on the boat, but that wick just thought fuck that, and I missed out this large mountain move here. But that is trading. You can't get the perfect entries and exits all the time. I got the perfect entry, but I didn't get a perfect exit. But you've got to take the money, run. There's going to be more opportunities out there. Now we're looking for them, especially on the S&P 500. So that is the setup that I'm much preferring right now. Did I give you that full analysis on that Kiwi CAD? Yeah, so my Kiwi CAD right now, you've sold off at that major resistance level. It's sitting at the support zone right now, off that weekly level. It's hard to say, really. Hard to say. I'd ideally really like to have come back down to that level, or maybe dip below it with a wick. Looked on a lower time frame to see if you had a reclaim, which was bounce, break below, reclaim, retest, hold and bounce. So really, we're kind of in no man's land right now. I'll take a trade about this area here or this area here. Right now, you're in no man's land. For me, don't want to work. Don't want to risk my hard-earned cash on a trade as such as that. Anyone else got any chart requests for me? I posted this one on the Euro Swiss franc. Swiss franc I do not trade no more because I had a very bad experience where I blew my account a few years ago when we done this move. I shall show you. It was when the Swiss franc dropped their floor. You ought to see a dump. Let's go back to 2015. Boom. I remember logging this. Fucking, I was a lot more inexperienced than what I was now. But you can see the consolidation at this level. I thought it was going to hold. Big news came out, and I didn't have a guaranteed stop. Some brokers offer guaranteed stops for wider spreads. I did not do so. Price kept down, and it took my stop out for the next available price, which left my account in thousands of debt. Luckily, my broker was good to me and reset my account back to zero. It did hurt, but that is trading for you guys. And that was the only time I really understood where you see these adverts for brokerage and they say losses can exceed deposits, and I was thinking, what the fuck? How does that work? I was like, you know your risk, but then shit like this, it's just freak days. We absolutely plummeted down, and it was ugly. And it's actually had some really nice recovery now. Just looking at this, look, voids such as this. A void is when you just get an efficiency of just burning through, and it's just the most unnatural price action you'll ever see. And what we've actually done is just grinded higher and higher and higher. And look at that short off that mark right there. And it's a lovely trade if you manage to catch that one. But now, like we like to do, go back to our weekly levels. We held here, we came back down to that level, and I wanted to see something in today to show me that there was going to be some confirmation on this level holding. The daily, we had this support level right here. As you can see, a test, held, bounce. Everyone that bought this double bottoms, you know, just jerking itself off right now, thinking, oh, what a great trade. Boom, what happens here? You just come out. Anyone that long this, you're getting stopped out right here if you had an aggressive stop. And then we had a lovely rally. If we break down this even more, grind high, and I did do a separate video that is on my Twitter if you want to see it. Type in Euro Swiss franc with a video tag on it, and you'll see exactly me explaining this trade when it was back down here with an entry. But I did not actually take this trade just because of the Swiss franc. But I like to look at charts. I like to go over the history of them, analyze them. It's fun for me, and we are getting a nice rally back now. So the risk remains the same. If you wanted to, you can move your risk up a little bit more here, protect some of your capital, and we're still going for the targets. Always take profits here. This is what I've got here. I've got this this tool that you can actually use on TradingView to work out your risk to reward. But you know, look, this is a level here. You can see this clear level here. Bada bim, bada boom. Test. And we're fucking around with this level right now. A good short to make sure you get out and actually flip this back down to the short side would be if you broke above, down, retested this level. Anyone got some chart requests for me? Anyone got any questions? Boy, oh boy, I am tired. Snowing in London today, and it's very dark. That just drains the hell out of me. Any more trades? Is there anything I want to show you? I'll actually show the oil position that I took. This was on my Twitter. Let me plug my charger in for my MacBook here, guys. So, weekly chart. When things are oversold, you have, especially like this, look at this sell-off. This is a weekly chart. How many weeks in a row did we ever sell off? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Meant some sideways action. And this, I did actually, I had an idea about this, because this weekly level, look at this, right? Resistance, deviation, the retest, the fail, retest, fail, came back up, and then same with this support level, support, briefly broke above it, retested, reclaimed. It didn't actually end up getting the push through that we wanted to, broke below, sold off, a huge deviation, came back up, held, longed, it dipped below again, running out any stops that longed here that were too tight, held. We'll try to sell this here. Once you broke through and you've been sold off, that would have been a good short opportunity. But the thing is, like I said, you want to be trading with high probability setups, and there is no value in selling when you are this oversold in the market. So I was looking at this area right here. I set a load of limits. I set 3. I got 2 out of 3. I think one was just, excuse me, one of my limits was just below here, just in case we ripped through to run out any stops from these guys down here, but we didn't manage to do so, and we've just had this super strong bounce, 20% bounce. I'm still holding some of my position. I sold off some at this red area here. As you can see, resistance, that was a reclaim resistance. Same again, broke above, ran some stops, and it just sold off straight through this support level here. And then this was kind of micromanaging the trade. I don't like it to do it too much, but you see this breakdown here. You broke above it, and then you reclaimed it and held it. So this kind of like a huge deviation, theoretically, where you just had this level of support breakdown, reclaimed it, and you've run up and now back into this. That should go right here to this area here of resistance, and you were selling off now. So I did take some profit off here. If it moves up to here, lowered the risk. If you break below there, I'm looking to get out, but for now, if you do break above this level, potentially long trades here. But like I said, you need to start learning on your durations of your trades. Once you've bounced 20% like this, you don't want to be holding out for a longer term swing. Unless you've got an entry down here and you're fine to hold this, and you've got maybe a potential fundamental reason to be holding this. Maybe look into the news with the trade deals in Canada and the barrels being made, supply and demand, and all that bullshit. But you really need to look into these things to micromanage your trade, because that was one of my biggest problems for a long time. Getting some good entries, and always taking my risk to reward 2 to 1, and trading up a stop a little bit, but never letting my winners really ride. And sometimes, especially when you're trading stock momentum stocks, you're seeing stuff that runs 50% and you cashed out completely at 10%. You know, sometimes that pisses me off more than actually getting stopped out. Because stopped out, if you see a setup, listen, it's trading. No one's 100% win ratio trader. You're expecting to lose. So if you get stopped out, sometimes that's just the aim of the game. But when you don't let your winners ride for stupid reasons, that infuriates me more than getting stopped out. Gold short. Yes, baby. That is what I posted on my Twitter yesterday. I am losing a plot. So, things to look out for, and good things to look out for is correlation. So, when when oil was strong, Canadian dollar is strong. Why? Because Canada has one of the biggest oil reserves, one of their biggest exports. That's how they make their money. So right here, this is the inverse correlation, kind of to the S&P 500 and US equities. So what do people do? When US equities are looking shit, they look for safe havens. What's a safe haven? Commodities such as US oil, which you're seeing the rally from, and gold. Gold has been always a great one. And as you can see, you had this level here of support, broke down, it was trading of resistance, it reclaimed, and it held perfectly to the T on a lower time frame. Let's just have a little butch. You had this level right here on a lower time frame. Easy to point out. You were support, you broke below, you held, Look at that entry right there. Stops below. Aggressive stop right here. Conservative. Stunning rally. And to be honest, I am looking for the retest here, but the main trade would be right round here, and things I'll be looking for at this huge level, and this is why I'm looking at this level, the weekly level. Look, support, 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 the breakdown, the retest, the failure. That's a huge level right now in my eyes on the weekly chart. This does run back down to this area here and down to this area here, so this could have been a deviation and a failure, and you just got a nice little sell off there. So maybe I'm looking a bit too early on this, but it's just because of a lower time frame. You see this consolidation area right here, just going sideways. We broke out of it yesterday. Even that might be a little bit of a deviation. Maybe we get something like this. Get into there, maybe reclaim this level and look for a quick trade back up to this area. And then really get the super short swing positions from this area. So what would I like to see in this area? I'm telling you right now, a double top is kind of looking obvious, but look in lower time frames, look for market structure to be broken. But the most ideal thing that would really get me hitting hard on this position would be break up, break down, retest, bang. Like we said, what kind of trader are you? Are you aggressive? If you're aggressive, your stop sits about here. If you're conservative, above those highs, where would you be aiming? Well, there's a clear level here. Breakout, retest. I'd even have to 2.37 risk to reward. Where are you going to next? This reclaim level here, 3.35. Move your stops down, take profits on the way. Put that money in. Where next? Lows. But for me, like I was saying, S&P 500, I'm looking to go short, so maybe we do get a continuation. Maybe it's always dodgy buying up this high, but actually reclaiming this level and holding and retesting and getting a bounce here, and then having stops below here and targeting this next level here. Why that level? Weekly chart. Look at this. Wick, 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 wick. You just can't get down it. Wick. Double top. Liquidity just getting taken from all these wicks from anyone trying to keep shorting this motherfucker. And you've just had the sharpest sell-offs. Don't mind the pound Canadian dollar for a fat drop. Any thoughts on this pair? Like I just said, pound, really you're playing with fire just because of all the Brexit news. There's too much fundamental. If you understand the fundamentals of trading, by all means, if that aligns to a technical perspective, you've got one step ahead of the game. But for me, I'd rather avoid anything with high volatility events coming up. And a good thing to actually gauge on this, I'm not too sure most people would actually probably know about this, but you can actually, if you go to the settings in TradingView, go to events and alerts, you can do earning breaks. So basically, this is another thing. If you are trading in a swing trade perspective, never, ever, ever hold through an earnings. Because basically what is going to happen, this is going to be out of aftermarket, so you can't trade it. Only specific brokers can actually do this. But what's going to happen is you could actually just say you set, just say you're buying something that's $2. It gaps up $4 overnight and you were short. Your stop price is getting filled at 4, even if you put it at 3. This is the quickest way to burn your account out. So never trade in earnings season. Personally, for me, from swing trading perspectives, only when you get setups that gap up. For example, let me show you an example. Netflix. Actually, no, I like, was it Google? Google. Well, fucking hell, this is messy. So imagine if you were short here. By all means, I'm not too sure why you would be short here. But the next day you just gap up. If your stop was here, you were not getting filled to the open price, which is right here. Which could leave you in a big spot of bother. But what actually happens is intraday on these gap ups, you get fast little moves in the morning. Where everyone's potentially, if they was holding positions overnight, they just want to get the fuck out, and there's just a lot of volume coming in, and you can ride quick scalps that get you fast percentage gains, but these are for more experienced traders. Canal Desai, bullsonwallstreet.com. He's the guy that taught me. He taught me stocks about 4 years ago with all the setups and that stuff now. So if you want to do that, go check him out if you want to learn more about stocks. I'll be doing a lot more videos on stocks as well, but he is the guru. About earnings plays. So earnings plays goes back onto day trading stocks. Quick in and out trades, booking your profits along the way, and it's great fun. What exchange website do you use to trade intraday stocks? Good question. I am from London, so it was a spot of bother. You can do it on Thinkorswim is a good platform. Interactive Brokers is a good platform. But for me, there was multiple reasons why I trade for a proprietary trading firm, which was actually set up by my mentor. He's a multi-millionaire now. He's absolutely smashing it. But the platform is super, super slick. The transactions are super quick for your orders. And he has a thing called a limit market, which I never actually see in a lot of markets. So basically it means, just say you want to buy a market, you hit market limit, and that will bid 1 cent above the price or below the price. So you're not paying the market fees, and you're actually getting limit filled, which is super duper 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 good. His name is Canal. Oh fuck. Canal Desai. Let me see for you guys. By the way, who likes the cola? Instrumental. Oh, sweatshirt. What a motherfucking G this guy is. Fucking hell, I've eaten too much Sanex. As you can see, this MacBook has just been filled with so much junk, so much software. I do need to do a good scrape of it. So Canal Desai runs a boot camp, and this is probably, how people say about pay groups and stuff like this. The problem with payer groups is that that people have not been fucking training for that long. They open up a Discord because they're getting desperate. They think they know more than the next person, but really they're just desperate for cash and fucking winging it. Canal Desai, this is the guy right here. This guy has been trading for fucking 20 years. And what he actually does is he does boot camp classes. So he does these about 3 times a year. And he will go through 2 hours. There's supposed to be about an hour lesson each, and there's about 35 lessons. And he does it live. He does it on a Go Meeting. I think it was called. And so it has his screen share, and then it has him and a webcam in the corner talking to you guys. And what happens is after this, you can ask him questions. He will answer every single question. This guy, I don't know anyone that loves trading more than this guy. He fucking loves it. And you can go back to every single archive. So there must have been about, how many boot camps must there have been? About 40 boot camps over about 10 years. And you can actually go and archive over every single one. This guy gets a psychologist from an investment bank to come in and do a webinar with him to talk you through the psychology of trading, because these big trading firms have psychologists that actually work for the firm. You know, the traders need to be in the best perspective of mind, and Canal is the man. If you were looking to trade stocks and quick momentum stocks, he is the man. He will go over from everything from A to Z. He will show you market breadth, scanners, trade idea scanners, which gives you instant alerts flash up on your screen. You can set so many good watch lists and alert systems, and you know, volume jumping up X%. It's literally got everything. It's the most advanced platform that I've ever seen in my life. And crypto, listen, if any of you guys are coders out there, these are the stuff you need to start working on. You know, stuff like Finviz. Look at this. You can literally do anything. Chartmill as well. Chartmill was the same. You can search for patterns, all that stuff. Just makes your life so much more easier. I haven't actually clicked on crypto now. What the fuck is this about? Right, look at that, baby. Green Day. Green Day apart from Ripple. Sucks for that. But yeah, we're looking good today, lads. Bitcoin Cash up 4%. And as you can see here, relative performance, Bitcoin Cash outperforming, Bitcoin third, Ripple at least performing. So happy days right now. What exchange website? Yeah, so if you contact Canal, especially if you actually sign up to his bootcamp, he will let you into proprietary trading firm with good fees, instant execution. It's one of the best I've ever used, and especially if you have a small account, we have this thing called a pattern day trading rule, which means you have to have $15,000 in your account. If you don't, you can only make 3 trades a week, I believe, which sucks if you want to do day trading. So you would need to go through someone like this. He gives you 10 to 1 buying power. So if you put $2,500 in there, you can trade with 25,000. There's parameters in place to keep you safe, risk, and all this stuff. You're not allowed to blow out an X amount of money per day. If it does, you are locked for that day and you can't trade until the next day. So you don't go and start doing anger trading. So this guy has really got your back. He, really settles you down to meet and avoid all the mistakes that new traders end up making, and then start prevents you from blowing up your accounts. And he's always there for you for support 24/7. Every single day, this guy trades in the chat room. You also get that if you sign up to the bootcamp. And he has his webcam there and his screen share there. And he's writing in the chat, and there's some more experienced traders in there. Maribeth, who's a female trader, absolute killing it. Sazaman, New York City trader, I think his name is on Twitter. He's an absolute beast of a trader. These guys are pros. These guys have been doing it for 15 years. They also trade crypto as well now. So he does crypto setups if you're looking into that kind of stuff. Raphael, what broker do you use to trade Forex? And what broker for stocks? I've just said the broker for stocks. It's a proprietary trading firm from Canal Desire. For Forex, I have multiple. I have Vantage FX and FX CM and FX Pro. And I've just signed up to a Wanda. I haven't actually used the Wanda yet, but a Wanda, I've literally just signed up to it for TradingView because I love using my MacBook. I do have MetaTrader 5 on my PC, but my PC's been a bit fucked up at the moment. But it just seems nice that you can just make transactions within the user interface or trading view. Yeah, definitely do that. He's a G. He's also Bulls on Wall Street on YouTube. If you go on that, he's got so much content for free. Loads of analysis, trade reviews. This guy made me write out, before he let me start trading at that firm, he made me write out a trading plan. Literally, I had to digest exactly what my mindset was going to be, the setups I was going to be trading. It gets you more of a plan, and your mind becomes clear. The more clear your mind is, the better you'll trade. Facts. Any more questions, hombres? Let me know if there's any charts you want me to go over. Excuse me, I'm super tired. Anybody out there? Anybody questions? Let's get the S&P 500 back up. The fuck did I just click? Didn't get the reclaim of this level as of yet, but as you can see, everyone's just been whipped out, this motherfucker. If we do get a retest of here, I'll be taking scalps only, because my perspective right now is that I want to be short in the S&P 500 because we are getting very extended now. And like I said, fair value is not at these values now. Fair value, buying low, selling high, is around this region here. 3-day chart, look at the run, you're getting extensive. So hopefully we break down, reclaim this level of an over-under. We get a lovely short opportunity here, and honestly, all my targets, I won't be micromanaging this. My micro targets will be these grey lines here, which are weekly supports right now, and scaling out slowly as I go, adding on any retests that get rejected, and building positions. Are you self-employed? Yes, I am. Do you do FX scalping like you do Bitcoin? Yes, I do. Hey, just join the stream. Best resources, mentors that can help crypto trading. He does do crypto trading. Listen, trading's linear, which means some things do get altered. For example, just the start of a trade. The setup is to be trading in the first 15 minutes of a stock trading open. So after the opening bell, you see high volatility movements, people covering positions from their overnights, people just try to get in for the day and buy a setup. So that is slightly different, especially when you have the overnight gaps. Crypto, I'd say Trader Main. Trader Main is a fucking top G. Trader Ascend is a top G. Hey, just joined. How long have you been trading for, and how many years did it take you to become profitable? Asking because I'm a kind of new trader. I only been trading for 1 year. It took me 3 years. It took me 3 years. I was with Canal. I was in the chat room. I must have tried every single indicator out there. I fucking had Ichimoku clouds on. Fucking you name it, I was using it. Donican channels, fucking Bollinger Bands, EMAs. Excuse me. Anything, listen, there's so many different ways you can trade and be profitable out there. I've seen people do this thing where they put the 9 and the 20 moving average on a daily chart. And there's a lot of rejections off this price. So what they will do is they will go on to say an hourly chart or a 15-minute chart. And do literally what I just showed you there. Just said there was a resistance and you broke above it and reclaimed it back below. So you've done an over-under. They would short that and literally just basing it off how a price was reacting to the daily EMAs and SMAs. Listen, they make money. Canal is a momentum trader. He trades the 9 EMA, 20 EMA and a VWAP on the 5-minute chart, but it's multiple time frames. He aligns that with breakouts and daily charts. So basically what happens is if you start seeing a major breakout on the daily chart, you'll look intraday to take 5-minute scalps. So for example, if it was a bullish breakout on the daily chart, you'd be looking for quick bullish setups on the 5-minute chart. Rip and ride, baby. Take the profits, get out of there. At the end of the day, you'll have the cash position. You won't have to worry about sleeping with stress and money on the table overnight. That is a personal question, motherfucker. No worries, Dominique. Enjoy yourself. Have a good sleep. And it's not linear as to what returns have you made percentage wise. Sometimes you have a good month, sometimes you have a bad month, sometimes you have a good year, sometimes you have a bad year, sometimes you have a good day, sometimes you do not. You're in it for the long run. Stay consistent. Consistency is one of the most important things in trading. Listen, I've said this before. Trading, right, is 50-50. Depending on your risk to reward, I've seen traders with 30% win rates, but the risk to reward is about 7-1 on trades. They're profitable. Some people are not comfortable with that. So some people have wider stops. They have a better win ratio, but the reward on it is not as good. So you need to mess around with this stuff you need to make your trade plan. And figure out what is best for you. There's so many different ways of trading, so many different styles. Any more questions? For Bitcoin, it's looking very slow in reply to Hasiated's question. To be honest with you, I've really cut down on the scalping of Bitcoin. For me, whatever it is, Bitcoin, Forex, stocks, it's just an engine to allow you to make money. So if the setup's there, you should know what setups are your favourite setups by now. If you haven't, learn a few setups, 1 or 2 if you're starting out, and master them. Because if not, your head's going to get all tangled up and you're just going to be fucking all over the shop. So really learn a setup. So for example, my first ever setup was the pullback to a 9 EMA. So basically, when you get a ripper, like I was explaining, if you've just joined, basically I was a momentum trader. So I was looking for biotechs that have gapped up overnight on such results, catalysts from basically getting clinical trials passed. So you get a gap up, say 10% overnight. If you get a continued bullish action straight out the gate for the first 15 minutes, so the first 3 5-minute candles, I'll be looking for a pullback to the 9 EMA. The 9 EMA works like a treat in the first hour. So if you get a pullback to the 9 EMA and you see that hold, buy, market, set the stop below the 9 EMA. The 9 EMA becomes your line in the sand, and aim for highs, and then hold a bit for the home run. Bitcoin here is just looking boring. I am long on crude or WTI. I am long on. What am I doing? I was long It's on my Twitter. I've searched for my Twitter feed. I posted that I was filling my bags right here. I am long, but listen, we're at this level right now where we're getting rejected. I did take some profits, but I'm still long. And trading wise, what would I do? Trading wise, really, just 'cause I've had this really good entry from here, and I've taken some profits here. I'm willing to move my stop to this red line right here. Bit difficult though. If we get a little bounce through and we see rejection, I probably will get out of my position and potentially open a short and start aiming back down, because like I said, from this weekly angle, you're stuck in this range. This is a massive range. You have test, deviation, come back, retest, foul, bounce down, break up, retest, doesn't foul, push up. You come plummeting through this level. This major support where you had the big bounce. If you're getting something so oversold in a support level that's major like that, the probabilities are high of a bounce. See, if this funneled down here and went sideways, you know, I'll be holding on to my balls as I long this, because the probabilities are not as high. Like Canal teaches, he says trading's like being a lawyer. The more evidence you have for a case, the more chance you have of winning. And it's just similar stuff like that. Thanks for the stream. Enjoyed Hatsfield. God bless you. Thanks for checking in. Do you look at Elliott Wave? Never looked at Elliott Wave. Doesn't make any sense to me. The fact that I just can't really. It's not linear. Trading's not linear like that with Elliott Waves. Personally, for me, I can't imagine institutions you fucking around with Elliott Waves. If it works for you though, excuse me. If Elliott Waves works for you, no disrespect, good luck. Study it, and just make sure you really nail on the risk. Keep your risk under control, and if you're consistent, you'll profit. Any more questions? Do you look at gold and silver? Yes, I've covered gold. Gold for me. This level here is kind of the shorting level. I'd love for it to pierce up above it, run all the stops on the guys that shorted this breakdown here. Breakdown stops are really good to actually locate for an under, over, or reclaim. Listen, this was such a clear as day breakdown. Look, multiple test, breakdown, retest, foul. There's going to be so much liquidity here at this area here where my cursor is for people that put their stops for this short here. So if you can run up, pierce this, take out all those stops, someone's gaining a lot of liquidity to fill a big short position. If it breaks back down, retest this area here and fouls, I'll be looking to take this short right in this area here with the stops there, and looking down here for a 4.4, risk to reward. To be honest, I haven't even fucking looked at silver for a long time. Is it XEG? Like I said, look for the highest points. See, like all this right here, right? Even though this is a weekly chart, this stuff here, that's a breakout, and that's a retest. It runs. It's good, but a lot of this is noise in between all this extra. Like all this is just junk. Institutions don't really plummet into higher amounts of money here. What you want to see is these big moves away from certain levels. That means someone's hit a really big position. So that's kind of like the range right now. I'm looking at this range. And the thing I'd love to see, this is a very nice support level. you've just been rejected on the weekly at this support level. So a thing I would love to see is for this to break below this level here, come underneath it, reclaim it, retest, hold, first target, blah 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 blah, second target, why second target? They don't explain to me. Test, foul, retest, foul, retest, foul, up, retest, foul. So this is a range within a larger range, really. So we can. This is what I'd be looking for. I'll show you scenarios. Don't have a bias of long and short here, because you are kind of fucking around in no man's land. Things I'm looking out for. That is potentially a short, but the sell-off hasn't been as sharp as I like. So, if we can get up here, for fuck's sake, if we can break up above here, retest this level and hold it, I'll be looking to hit up here, scale profits on the way. If we do get a bounce right now, fucking hell, that's just shit. And we get rejected, you'll be looking kind of basically for a lower higher, because if you don't take out that higher here, we'll be looking for a lower higher. Let's target this area right, Velavum down here. And then what I could see happening, coming down to this weekly level, bouncing, maybe reclaiming this level and going back up again. We're stuck in a range, side to side action, it's easy to manage. Any more questions before I wrap this bad boy up? Raphael, silver will make it higher. And let me borrow your crystal ball, please, senor. I'd love to be knowing where these markets are going. Nobody knows where these markets are going. The best you can do is locate where the big money's coming in, try and play along with them, make sure your risk is 1 to 2%. If you're doing some crazy kind of shit, set up to 5%, but that's not advised. And just stay consistent. One thing I always said was, one thing I always said about trading was, where it was 50-50, you could lose 5 trades in a row, and as a new trader that could be very, very horrid. And then you don't believing in your strategy and you would quit. But the thing is, you could go to a roulette table. How many times have you looked at roulette sometimes? I've gone to a roulette table once and I saw 7 blacks come in at the same time. But the odds are 50-50, near enough, minus to 0. But then what could actually happen after that is that 7 reds might come in a row. So just because you lost the first 3, it doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just mean the probabilities have been quite unlucky on your side and you just lost the first 3 trades. But stick to it. A possible range would be a double top and double bottom would be ideal. Exhaustion is when you've had an extended run, so for example like this is getting exhausted, and then you just had this minor bounce. You've taken these stops briefly with this wick, that was a range there. As you can see, a double bottom signals the bottom of a range. You've dipped below it, you've come back up, you've retested and you've held. That's exhaustion right there, when you've just, when that was just, it tried, it just got brought up again, straight back at those lows. Sometimes MACD, I do like to use the MACD divergence. So MACD divergence is when price prints a higher high and the oscillator when the oscillator prints a lower high. So there's divergence, and that shows that even though the price has risen, the momentum's actually declined, and there's not as much buying energy in that secondary rally. Four more minutes, chaps. Nearly 11 o'clock here. I'll wrap it up at 11 o'clock. Questions? Questions. Sorry that I haven't covered more crypto stuff. It's just until Bitcoin starts making a move, there's better opportunities out there. Don't be stubborn with because last year, maybe X year, you just hodled on something, you made X amount. You know, because it's not always going to be like that. And then one day you're going to be stuck and loose, and you're going to be starting from zero. So just learn other markets. When an opportunity comes up that you recognise, pull the trigger button. It doesn't matter what market it is. They're all here to generate money and to make people lose money. Alright, senores. No more questions in the chat. Thank you for watching. I'm going to try and do this again soon. It's always fun. I like talking shit and just going through charts with people. It's a lot more enjoyable than just sitting there trading on your own and going through charts, because we go through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of setups. And we're always studying. Been doing this 6 years, forever studying, forever will be studying. Markets change. You need to adapt. So everyone, thanks for watching. Take care. Hope this has been informative and you've learned a little something from today. If I've even just given you a bit of information to one of you guys, that's all good. If I've helped one person out today, hopefully I'll have some good karma tomorrow and win the lottery tomorrow. Everyone, wherever you are, good night, good morning, good afternoon. Thanks for watching. Take care. God bless you guys.